Had that dream again. My small business needs to hire, but I don't use LinkedIn, and I hire an energy vampire. But also, they're a literal vampire. And suddenly my team is spending all their time sharpening wooden stakes and buying bulk silver and rehearsing ancient chants, and then I wake up.
Don't let hiring nightmares ruin your dreams. LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant takes insights from over 1 billion professionals to create a short list of the best fits for you. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/quality. Start hiring today with LinkedIn.
Good morning, Crust. It's a great day to be a bread brother.
Ugh, mornings are not my jam. Or jelly.
Oh, come on. Stop loafing around.
I just woke up feeling hollow inside.
Just grab one of the new Morning Uncrustables sandwiches, like Bright-Eyed Berry or Up and Apple, filled with 12 grams of protein and tons of deliciousness. Crust, what are you eating?
It's just granola, not even yogurt.
No crust, no fuss. Uncrust your mornings.
Oh, such a clutch off-season pickup, Dave.
I was worried we'd bring back the same team.
I meant those blackout motorized shades.
Blinds.com made it crazy affordable to replace our old blinds.
Hard to install?
No, it's easy. I installed these and then got some for my mom. She talked to a design consultant for free and scheduled a professional measure and install.
Hall of Fame son.
They're the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings in the world.
Blinds.com is the GOAT.
Visit Blinds.com now for up to 45% off site-wide and free professional installation. Rules and restrictions apply.
The Eagles completely botch Week 18 and hand the 2 seed to the Chicago Bears in one of the more frustrating games. I guess I can't say that I've watched this season because I've watched a lot of frustrating games this season, but just a continuation of everything we've watched this season. Welcome into Postgame Live, everybody. I'm your host, Shane. Give me a follow on Twitter at ShaneHalfNFL. Joined by David. Give him a follow at David Neese PHL. I can already tell you guys this one's going to be a struggle because I'm pissed off. Just a complete and utter mismanagement of everything from the decision to play starters to the play calling and the decisions you made with the guys you chose to put on the field. I just think it's completely idiotic that the Eagles decided that the 2 seed wasn't worth playing for. There is such a massive difference in facing a Packers team that has lost 4 straight games in the first round and facing a Niners team that has scored 37 or more points in 4 of their last 7 games. And beyond that, getting out of round 1, there's a massive difference in hosting a second-round playoff game and being one upset away from hosting an NFC championship game. And we all think, there's the potential for a Darnold collapse in the playoffs and having to go to Soldier Field for January football. I can't believe that this is the direction the Eagles went and that it's the way that it played out. So I'm incredibly frustrated. David, where are you at with all of this?
Exactly the same. And it's not hindsight. We both said last week previewing the game that they, maybe should have rested a couple starters. Maybe you sit Jalen Carter just because he's hurting. Maybe you sit Jalen Phillips because he's hurting. But that's about it. You go for the win. I mean, we saw how valuable the 2 seed was last year. The Eagles ended up with 3 home games because, somebody can upset the 1. Just, this year it's going to be Sam Darnold at the 1. I'm not saying that Seattle definitely, is not going to advance, but you have a good chance of it, especially with who they're going to be facing. And it was always a possibility the Lions could take out the Bears, and pretty much the worst case scenario happened.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I guess we can briefly go in on the decision to play starters and then we can talk about some of the rest of it. But just to me, I know people will say, what if somebody gets hurt? I mean, it's a violent sport. Injuries are going to happen. And if you are so overly concerned with preventing that, there's a line where you don't be reckless, right? You don't rush Lane Johnson out there for this game. You don't put Jalen Hurts out there and call QB draw 8 times. That's reckless. But you shouldn't expect guys to get hurt just putting them on the football field and playing football. And yeah, some stuff will happen, and maybe something does happen. But I just think you cannot be. But it's a good example. It's a good microcosm of the conservative nature of Nick Sirianni. People want to say Nick Sirianni is an aggressive coach. Nick Sirianni is not an aggressive coach. He's conservative in his roster management and his game management, and how they play when they have leads. And it's almost cost the Eagles several times with losing leads this year, and it cost the Eagles the opportunity for the 2 seed here in this one. But it's not just that. the Eagles still should have won this football game. I mean, you look, Tank Bigsby had a 53% rushing success rate. The last time Tank Bigsby touched a football was 17 minutes before the game ended, and it was a 13-yard run. And, like, sure, you're probably not going to come out when you get the ball back with a minute left and no timeouts and hand it off, but Washington took the lead, and there was plenty of time left, right? Or we can even go with Washington tied it up, and there were 9 minutes left, and they go pass, punt. Washington scores again, and then the Eagles go, they have 2:32 left, the ball at the 35. With all of their timeouts, you don't have to be in a huge rush, and they didn't call one run play, including when they're on 3rd and 3 at the Washington 31. You could have run the ball and maybe got a first down or set up a 4th and short where you could run again. That could be on the table, and instead you throw a go ball to Darius Cooper. I've said a lot of times I'm fine with you taking shots one-on-one on 3rd down. I should have clarified. Maybe Kevin Patullo listens to the show. I meant Jalen Hurts to A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith, not Tanner McKee to Darius Cooper. Just real awful play calling and design. You can go back to early in the game, not taking points down in the red zone, which is probably something you should do with backups in, much less going 3rd and 1 pass, 4th and 1 empty with Tanner McKee, who's not a mobile quarterback pass. Like, just so many examples of the offensive design continuing to be utter garbage. You could have won this game. You absolutely could have. And I mean, you could have won them still resting the guys that you rested, I think, if some of the decision-making was better. And so the offense just kind of continues to be a major issue with this team, and you see it in Week 18 again.
Yeah. The one caveat to all of that, you're talking about the conservatism of Nick, and everything you said is spot on. And then you look at the curious side that they stick Devontae out there to try to break a record that or just to get 1,000 yards, not even a record. I mean, it's really not that important. And, that was more prioritized than, getting the 2 seed. And that's just crazy to me. I don't understand it. Playing a lot of the younger guys wouldn't have surprised me in this one. I mean, Jalix played the whole game. There were young guys who did. And I think a lot of people are seeing now how exposed the depth is at cornerback for the Philadelphia Eagles. There was a time where people wanted Keely Ringo and Jacorian Bennett to be starting over Adoree Jackson. So the one thing I can say is I could see why the Eagles were scared to death about one of them getting hurt, because this is what you have back there, which was terrifying. I mean, it was brutal all day. The penalties, the poor decision-making. I don't even know what Keely was doing in the end zone, running backwards. I mean, it was just terrible. I mean, not only did they look bad, some of these guys probably not, a couple of them, I can say with probably certainty, are not even going to be on this team next year. I mean, that's how bad of a performance this was. Yeah,
Jacorian Bennett it was just something that Johnny and I talked about when we watched him. We thought he is sticky in coverage. But we specifically said you could throw a flag on him almost every snap. And that's what you saw. Somebody asked on Twitter, asked me how much credit does Vic Fangio get for sticking with Adoree Jackson over Jacorian Bennett? I'm like, none, because a half blind man could see that Jacorian Bennett's not the answer if he plays like that in practice. But yeah, Jacorian Bennett can't be on this roster next year. Keely Ringo maybe can as a special teamer, but that's done. He can never play defense. It was a rough performance from him. Just sad because he's a good tackler. He had a couple good plays in the run game, but
good special teams play, but that's about the best I can say for him. But yeah. It was ugly.
The play where he just turns and runs away from Josh Johnson. It's like, okay, like if you're in midfield, you play the pass until the quarterback crosses the line of scrimmage if you're having to play between two guys, but you're on the 2-yard line. Like there's no giving up a big play. Like make him at least throw it and hope somebody's back there. So yeah.
And this is year 3. This isn't a rookie. This is year 3. I mean, that's the part that's, the most surprising, I guess, but
yeah. Another comment here from Ben Gunner said McKee just played himself out of at least $10 million. And yeah, that's another part of it. McKee played really poorly down the stretch in this game. I thought he started okay, and I think the broadcast did a good job of highlighting the amount of times there was just nobody open, and I would suspect we'll see a lot of that. But when I go back to the film, but there were also just a lot of instances of him making inaccurate throws, and that's supposed to be one of his things. And
he looked good early with Smitty out there, but yeah, he was completely off target in the second
which
half.
is the thing, right? Like, I still think he can go be a decent starter somewhere.
Yeah.
He's like dream scenario for the Rams. The Rams should be going to get trade for him this offseason, but you're fighting an uphill battle behind that offensive line with those weapons. And then when you layer on top of that, missing some throws that were there, it's not a good look. So I think he still has a chance to go play somewhere and be decent, but it definitely hurt his value if the Eagles were thinking about moving on, making a trade this offseason. But yeah,
I thought Dotson looked all right. Like I would say the tape, it's hard to say anything without watching it, but I would say he got open fairly well. I mean, he definitely had some pretty good route running that he did on that, but all the other receivers didn't show anything. Hell, Covey was probably the second best receiver out there tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't. It's kind of frustrating. You mentioned the Devontae Smith thing. It's crazy that you'll put him out there to chase a 1,000-yard season that doesn't mean anything when you could just give him the contract guarantees that go for it anyways.
And they would.
Yeah,
they're known for it.
And
they absolutely would.
But and I know you can't just stick a guy in cold with 2 minutes left for a final drive, but that they weren't monitoring at halftime, hey, the Lions are winning 13-0. Let's go win this game. You could come out at halftime and get your starters warm and go play. I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is at this point. The Eagles are going to face the 49ers next week now. But again,
Can we talk some positives on the defense?
Yeah. Jalix Hunt
and Jeremiah Trotter Jr. I thought he looked fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked really good. And if people are concerned that Nakobe Dean is going to leave, I mean, I think Trotter Jr. plays more of the role that Dean does than Jahad Campbell, actually. So, I don't know if he sees the field first in that scenario, but I definitely think his style of play is more suited for the role that Nakobe has on the team. I mean, he had 12 total tackles, 2 QB hits, a TFL. I mean, he was all over the place. I mean, I thought he had a really good game.
Yeah. He's somebody I'll have to clue in a little more on the rewatch. But yeah, solid game from what I've noticed on broadcast. Jalix Hunt, man, he leads the team in interceptions, which is hilarious because he's an edge rusher, but we don't have to say the part about him being a former safety. I'll throw it out there. Adoree Jackson or Quinyon Mitchell goes down in the playoffs. Put Jalix Hunt at cornerback over any of these other guys. I think you got a better chance there. But yeah, I thought Jalix Hunt was really good. You mentioned Jeremiah Trotter Jr. There was somebody who else? Oh, Byron Young. Yeah, we got a comment here from Alex. I didn't see a ton of stuff from Byron Young, but he had that one really good rep down at the goal line that they mentioned on the broadcast. I've been really critical of Byron Young this year, and I think rightly so, but that one was an awesome rep. So it was good to see that. It'd be nice if he can sort of take a step because the Eagles seem to like him.
Right.
Maybe that's more that Ty Robinson just can't do anything because he was pretty lackluster in this game, I think. But
that's the most disappointing player on defense, I think, because I think he had the highest expectations in a lot of people's minds.
Yeah. And then another comment here about Cameron Williams. Yeah, I thought Cameron Williams also looked good in this game.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'll have to lock in on that a little more when I go back and watch it. But for what it's worth, right now, he is charted with allowing only 2 pressures on 36 pass block reps. So pretty solid performance from him.
What do you think of Will Shipley, just to go back to the offense for a moment?
I think Will Shipley should never step foot on the football field when the offense is out there. If you want to use him as a kick returner, that's fine. But which is less of a statement about Will Shipley. He's just a guy. He's always been just a guy, and more of a statement about Tank Bigsby, who I thought was awesome in this game. And
yeah, he was great.
It wasn't just because they're playing Washington. Like, you've watched him throughout the season and thought in his 1 or 2 carries he gets a game that he's looked really good, but he ran hard. And I think it's clear he should have been playing more this season. And I'm not saying that to take shots at Saquon, who I think has done really well in a pretty bad situation this season. It's more of a comment on Will Shipley. And the fact that Will Shipley gets snaps over Tank Bigsby is kind of crazy to me. I mean, Tank Bigsby has 42 carries this year. Will Shipley's only got 13. but they've still played him a lot. It's like, just put Tank Bigsby out there. And even in just spelling Saquon, keeping Saquon fresh for the playoffs, like, I would have liked to have seen Bigsby play some more. I still think you should see that some more. Hopefully they do that a little bit in the playoffs. Of course, in the playoffs, you're crunch time. You run Barkley into the ground if that's what it takes, because he's got the whole offseason. But yeah, I thought Bigsby was a playmaker in this game. And I think he's so decisive and just willing to like lower his head, lower his pads, and get upfield. And that plays better than Saquon's run style when the blocking's not good. I think Saquon has better vision. And I don't think Saquon dances too much. I don't like LaShawn McCoy did at times and some of that stuff. Right. But he kind of slow plays things and looks for the lanes, looks for the cutback holes, and Bigsby just lowers his pads and goes. And when you've got the offensive line the Eagles had last year, you want the Saquon. When you have the offensive line the Eagles have had this year, putting some Tank Bigsby in there could have really helped out.
Yeah, to your point, Tank only had 87 offensive snaps prior to this game. Will Shipley, I don't know what, let me see if I can find it real quick. 90. So it was, even favored him a little bit more. And that was 15 games of Tank, I believe, with the Eagles. So, yeah. And Tank had over 100 all-purpose yards today. He had a 31-yard reception as well. I mean, yeah, he was really good, and I agree with all of that. He definitely should have been getting the ball a little bit more. I'm not saying 10 carries like some people did, but he definitely should have had 5 to 8 carries a game, depending on game flow, and maybe more depending on game flow. Like you said, he's better suited in some way. He runs like his hair's on fire, man. He just keeps on running. He's completely different style runner that may, function a little bit better at times in the way this offense is set up. It was a little bit of malpractice, in my opinion, to not utilize him more. Would you say 17 final minutes? I mean, that's just absurd.
Yeah, his last carry came at like 2:07 in the third quarter.
He was averaging almost 5 a carry, and more than that, he was explosive. He was hard to stop. He was hard to get down. Even when he was, not getting too many positive yards, he was a force to, deal with, and everything was going well at that point. And then you put it into Tanner's hands, and when you're playing with 10 backups, you kind of get what you get.
Yeah, well, Tank Bigsby had .235 EPA per touch in this game. Unfortunately, the touches just stopped coming because Kevin Patullo has no idea how to manage a game or his personnel or his play calls. And been saying it since October. And I really fear that it's what's going to bite the Eagles in the playoffs ultimately. We'll see. I'm not going to be a downer going into the playoffs. I like the Eagles' chances against the 49ers, but it's really frustrating that Green Bay was just sitting there. And they
what's crazy is the Bears lose, and we all wanted to play Green Bay, and Green Bay opens at 1.5-point favorites in Chicago.
That's crazy. Which I guess the Bears didn't look convincing at all today. In a game that they knew they had to win. All right.
They did play their starters.
Yeah, they did. Trying to think if there's anything else to mention here. I don't know. I don't feel like I've got much else for this one.
No.
We'll do our player of the games in 3 words in a minute, but do you have anything else you want to mention?
Should have played starters. I guess that's my 3 words.
Yeah. Well, we're not there yet. I mean, other general thoughts about the game.
No, I think that's about it. You just got to throw it away. I mean, at the end of the day, they should have tried for the 2nd seed, in my opinion. I mean, we both, again, it's not hindsight. We both said that pregame. They didn't do it. Probably still could have sat even Jalen Hurts if you wanted to, but you had to have played more starters than they did, and it just bit them. I guess it's the worst case scenario that could have happened. Chicago loses and we lose right at the end. And it's just, very frustrating. I'm sure Sirianni will hear it all week, but I guess the way to look at it is if they come out and win a Super Bowl, that'll sanitize everything bad that you thought about this season.
Yeah.
Nobody will have any bad memories.
Yeah. By the way, this was Josh Johnson's 2nd career win.
Good grief.
2nd career
win.
They
got done in by a 39-year-old backup, 3rd-string quarterback.
Yeah.
Did my card go through?
Oh, no.
Your small business depends on its internet. So switch to Verizon Business. And you could get LTE business internet starting at $39 a month when paired with select business mobile plans. That's unlimited data for unlimited business.
There we go.
Get the internet you need at the price you want. Verizon Business. Starting price for LTE Business Internet, 25 megabits per second, unlimited data plan with select Verizon Business Smartphone plan savings. Terms apply.
In his career, he is now 2-9 as a starter. But yeah,
That's a good way to end.
yeah, well, yeah, like you said, at the end of the day, it's done. They did it. You know, the good side is that they didn't have any starters get hurt in this game.
Right.
Grant Calcaterra got hurt on a clear hip drop tackle that wasn't flagged, but he was
Never
walking
is.
on the sidelines, so hopefully he's okay. But also, hopefully they stop playing him and asking him to block guys. So
I was waiting for that.
yeah,
It might be the only way he's not in there.
but nobody else, I don't think, really got. Did anybody else? Oh, Moro Ojimo went into the tent at one point in the game, but
Somebody had a concussion.
Brett Toth.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so
Which potentially is bad news, but
yeah, it hurts your depth. I mean, they weren't going to start him, although
yeah,
they should, but I'm still there with that.
What'd you think of Kendall? Just watching the broadcast.
It's nice to have a center that can move on some of the concepts and same thing with Toth, like that one touchdown run Tank Bigsby had. I think Deniz said it on Twitter. He's like, the run game looks a lot different when your center and your left guard can move.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a guy that I'm interested to go back and watch, is to see how Kendall performed, because obviously it'd be nice to have a solid center that you could rely on that's on a rookie deal. And, you know, if the injury issues continue to linger for Cam Jurgens throughout his career, to have a guy you feel comfortable with going to. So, but yeah, so the Eagles get out of the game and they're going to be the 3 seed. They will get to host the 49ers, but no super notable injuries. Like we said, Grant Calcaterra was walking around on the sideline. Brett Toth is a depth piece that, if he didn't clear concussion protocol, could matter in the case of an injury, but that's stacking a lot of ifs. So I guess the Eagles accomplished their goal, which is they got starters rest and they got out of the game healthy, and they found out that they should be drafting a lot of cornerbacks on day 2 and 3 of the draft next year. So
absolutely.
Hopefully the rest, I hope the rest does a lot for the defense. I don't hold out a lot of hope that the offense is going to figure things out, although they might look good against a 49ers defense that's really struggled lately.
Yeah.
But for the defense, getting a little bit of that time off, hopefully they're primed and ready to go, because San Francisco's got a good offense. So, of course, we'll preview all of that this week. Birds of the Round Table Tuesday night, all of that stuff. But before we get out of here, let's go player of the games, and then we'll do our 3-word reactions. David, I'll give you the first crack here. Who's your player of the game?
I know you're going Jalik, so I'll just stick with Trotter Jr. I mean, I thought he had a really good game. Like I said, 12 tackles, the 2 QB hits. He looked, he was reading and reacting. He had, a good pass rush. He just looked like he understood what he was doing. I think you saw the football IQ. You kind of see how valuable he could be as a piece moving forward. I was pretty excited to watch him. I thought he did a good job.
All right. Yeah. You know the rule. Jalix Hunt gets an interception. Jalix Hunt gets my player of the game nod, although it seems sad not to give Tank Bigsby one. So I'll shout him out for co-MVP if that's allowed. If we had a third guy on the show,
yeah, it was Tank.
He would get it. And then let's go 3-word reactions. You guys can drop them here in the comments. We'll read some of your favorites. Cali Eagles fan says Jalix had 0 pressures. Hey, my rule, he got a pick. He's my player of the game. 3-word reaction, David. What do you have?
Well, I already wasted my good one, so I'll just
you can say it again. I don't remember what it was.
Should have played starters.
Yeah, I'll go with coaching still stinks. Brett Eclipse says season ends fittingly. It's a good one. We got a Tank Bigsby MVP. I might need a ruling on that, because MVP stands for most valuable player. I'm not sure if we can let that go, because that's more like 5 words. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll let it slide. We're all down in the dumps a little. We'll let that one slide this time around. So Tank Bigsby MVP. We got a second seed choked from Brett Eclipse. A Y Shipley Y from Shake. Yeah, good stuff there. Such a weird game. Such a weird sequence with all of that. But anyways, we're going to get out of here. David, any final thoughts that you want to throw out? Nope.
No, sir.
All right, we got a could be worse from Alante, and then he said, i.e. the Bucs season. Yeah, it could be far worse than being the 3 seed and hosting a playoff game in January.
Could have been the Rams, too.
Yeah. Brett Eclipse said, why dress starters? Well, you have 46 guys active, so you only have 7 inactives. And so that's why a lot of the starters were dressed, because you're always going to have them active. You might not play him, but you got to have 46 active. Mr. King said, loved this loss. I'm not sure if that was the 3 words or not. Loved this loss. Siri and KP, especially KP, can kick rocks. Yeah, hopefully, my hope for Kevin Patullo, and I'll end with this. This can be my final thoughts. My hope for Kevin Patullo is that the Eagles go win the Super Bowl, and the New York Football Giants are so impressed with Kevin Patullo that they make him the next head coach of their football team, as per some of the reports that came out a month ago that I thought were insane then. So let's speak that into existence. Let's get Kevin Patullo, give him the Super Bowl MVP after they win it, 12-6 or whatever it is against the Broncos, and then just send him off to New York and we can face him twice a year. It'd be great. Yakko said shot own foot for his 3 words. So I was stalling a little bit to give you guys some time to put some more of those down, but a couple of guys thanking us for the stream here. Hey, we appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in to watch a post-game show after a Week 18 game when the Eagles didn't even play their starters. So we appreciate you guys for hanging out with us throughout the season. The season is not over. We'll have a full week of content coming your way this week in the lead up to the 49ers game. And regardless of the outcome of that game, go Birds, it'll be a win. But regardless of the outcome of that game, the network will continue to go into the offseason. Shows will shuffle around, but we'll let you guys know what's going on with all of that. But we truly appreciate you guys for hanging out with us all offseason. Mr. King says his 3 words is New York Giants. Use the abbreviation. We'll let that slide again. Hire KP, which again is initials. So we're packing a lot of words into this 3 words here.
Just say Giants hire Patullo.
Yeah. No. I respect cramming New York Giants hire Kevin Patullo. He got 6 words into a 3 words. I respect it. So that's going to do it for this one. Again, thank you guys for hanging out. We truly appreciate y'all. We will catch you on Tuesday night with Birds of the Round Table, and I'll be live for other shows throughout the week. But for me, for David, for the rest of the guys at the network, you guys stay awesome and go Birds.